To go out, walk around your neighborhood, connect with your neighbors, connect with your friends. Do not impose your own judgment or your own mindset on another person and how they may perceive you, even if your perception may be correct. Go out and be guided by nature. Ask Jesus to come and walk with you, be one with you, and let him lead you to where he would like for you to be according to the Father's will, not your own. You'll find that when you walk the path of Jesus and you are aligned with him in his way, that things are a lot more beautiful. You get to see through the eyes of the Father, and everything's more illumined, everything's more peaceful. And like I said, your eyes are a totally different perspective. You see the degrees of heaven in which you may not be able to see with your naked eye. Whereas with your naked eye, you can only see to the 4th degree. Whereas with your conscious, more perspective halo, your bigger eye, seeing the 6 higher dimensions, you see a lot more, you hear a lot more, and you see beauty in a lot of things and simplicities. Plus, you'll never know who you might meet on the way, what you might connect with, who you might connect with, and so much more. It's been very beautiful out here today, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't regret it. Like, this is nothing and everything all at once. Nothing in the sense of saying nothing at all. It's great out here. It's great. Have my tea. I'm carrying it with me. And we're just walking through wonders. And though I do desire to walk through a park, I'm in search of a park. I'm looking for a park near me. But this is nice. This is peace. This is love. And this is the love that I hope for. To be able to step out into the world and see the beauty in the world that I created for myself. And not in the sense of things that I've cultivated and, things that I've built for foundations of myself, but like more so in my internal universe. And let me explain. Since my studies and getting deeper with God and walking the path of Jesus Christ, I've been able to allow myself to gain wisdom on a lot of things. And basically the study of theology, and not wisdom in the sense of, oh, I know more than you, or this is the right way, and da-da-da-da, because God is in everything. God is, God was, and God is to come. So it is not my judgment, because I'm not here to judge anybody, same as you. It is not my job nor my judgment to criticize another person, but allow myself to become a better person and understand the beauty in the ways that I conceive God, because God is not one religion, God is not one thing, God is not one form. Jesus is, Jesus was, and Jesus is to be. I recommend that you guys read the Magi, okay? Reading the Magi in the way that I read it, it was very beautiful, it was illumined. And I often wondered to myself, with Mother Mary, what was her experience like as a mother taking care of infant Christ, a time where Christ was vulnerable and he needed to be protected as a baby does. And reading the Magi, it put a lot of things into perspective for me and illumined a lot of things for me, and it was very blessed, and I was very thankful for it. Like, it's very beautiful. And so as I sit here and I realize, the beauty and everything, and me just walking around being led by God, I'm like, all the education and the reading I did wasn't just for me to simply build on an intellectual mind and stand my ground against the enemy, but rather be able to see in the way God needs me to see. I would not be able to wander about, understand the majesty and beauty of not only just the trees, but the sun, the light, the setting, and just going with the intuition of my spirit. I wouldn't have been able to do this had I not made myself clear and illumined upon the ways I can perceive the Lord. So while yes, reading the Gospel of Luke may be for me to just understand, his perspective and his point of view of the testament in the life of Jesus Christ, who knows, me in there in itself could help me see the arrays of blue as I would see the seas. And it's just something different, because now that I look up at the sky, I not only see the sky and the atmosphere and the dome, the firmament which separates the heavens, the waters from the waters, but I see the sky as it is, the waters above us, There's waters above us, there's waters below us, and there's waters between every sector, between every heaven as you descend up. There's even waters above the heaven, above God, in which he placed with himself on the 10th heaven with Enoch. And those waters are just waters. They're volts. They're just the highest waters in the highest heaven, and they're waiting there. And those are the waters which descend upon us, in which we receive the rain. And those were the very same waters that came down when Noah, in his time in the ark, and everything occurred. So that's just something to think about, something illumined. I love you guys. Stay blessed. I'm out here. There's no format. There's no me doing anything different. I mean, everything is different. Everything's new, but I'm not doing these videos and recording myself on YouTube in a way to have, like I said, a specific format, a structure to follow. I'm just going with what's compelled in my spirit. So every video, every day will be a change evermore. And I'm just happy to be recording and doing this and talking simply and just having, even the background sounds, because this is all a part of life, from the airplanes, the trucks, the trees, the birds, the grasshoppers, the snakes, the spiders, everything, the leaves, the wind blowing. All this is necessary sound. And I was kind of fearful at one point of doing this and everything, because I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have anything professional to make something work or even record on the camera. Like, I have to make sure this storage is clear on this phone. But I'm happy to be doing it, and I'm doing it because I'm led by the Spirit, and I do not let the structures that I feel like I need impose me and limit me and stop me from revealing this beauty and this majesty. And so I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful for all of you guys as well for being here and trusting and believing in me through this process, because this means a lot, truly, from the little to the big to the small, everything, the macrocosm and the microcosm, like all of it is all encompassing, and I'm very thankful for it evermore. Like, this is blessed. That's why I always say I don't know how it will end with you guys, because it's not like, okay, here's this plan, this is the setup. Even when I write, it's never like anything planned. I try to plan things, nothing goes according to plan. That's why I do things to the Spirit. Even when I'm writing my novels, nothing is ever pre-structured. Sure, I get ideas, I write them down, and everything just flows into itself as the Lord needs me to do. But nothing is ever from start to finish. I'm always present in everything that I do, from me existing, to me breathing, to me writing, to me recording, to me saying, I'm going to talk about this or that. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just letting the thoughts roll out. I'm letting the Holy Spirit convict me in a blessed and beautiful and illumined way. And I'm happy. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for this beauty. And I'm thankful for all of you. There is more to come. There is more wonders. And I hope that you guys view the videos that I will soon post, even the ones that I've already posted, with the nature, because there's symmetry in that. Like, this is the world. This is my world. This is what I'm cultivating, and I want people to see that. I want you to see the colors, the autumn, the seasons, the April, the spring, the rays. It's so beautiful. I want you to truly encompass that, and not only just listen to my words, but listen to the sounds, the backgrounds, or even look at the trees swaying, the moss in the sky, everything that builds the character of the video that I'm creating. Even the words that I place on my videos when I'm sometimes writing about quotes, whether it's from Pistis Sophia, whether it's from the Gospel of Thomas, or it's from any of the books from the Nag Hammadi library. I'm doing these things. There are layers. You gotta pay attention to the individual brush strokes, not just the whole picture. While yes, I'm here with my voice, it's booming, it's banging, it's beautiful, you have to encompass all in order to receive the imagery, because the bird passing by could be a sign, a magnificence according to Jesus. That could be a specific message for you in itself. So embrace all and take the time to breathe and let this be nourished into your body. Don't rush to see what evidence, what testimony, what words you can feel yourself, because not all the time does God speak to us with words in the way that we communicate. In the book of Secrets of Enoch, he said when he created man, he said, man, us, a specific type of angel, he said we have language and we speak like some of his created things. So there's many languages and there's many forms of communication that the Lord has placed for us. He is all illumined, and he gave us this because he wanted us to speak like this in this manner. But that's not to say that's the only manner in which there are communication and sounds and even just feeling. You just simply touching your back to a tree, that is communication. Physical touch is a form of communication, and how you interact with people is how you interact with the world, and how you interact with the world is how you interact with yourself. So if you are damaging others around you, if you're damaging yourself, if you're bringing wrath and destruction upon the world around you and the environment, you're doing that to yourself. And that's just a perfect reflection of how a person may feel about themselves. And so while some people are prideful and they may feel high and mighty about how they're perceiving things, how they're doing everything from their financial gain or whatever they gain, land or anything, from their colonialism to their capitalism to their own selfish greed, whatever it may be, know that that is really how they feel about themselves. All of us are exposed here on this third, fourth, second, and first dimension. On these levels, we are exposed, okay? Even the accusers, the evil ones, they are exposed. They are not as strong and haughty and fearful as one might think, like to be feared. No, they're not. They are just as weak and naked and as humble a child as we are, okay? It's just that the degrees in which we were born and which we are is different compared to them, because we hold in our vaults, in our heart, the light, the spirit of God, something they do not have, okay? That's why you can look into some eyes of other people and see no soul, you see no life, because they no longer hold the vault of the spirit of the living God. They're living because that is the will of God, but it's not according to life. They're not really living. And so you have to be aware of those things, and you have to perceive these things, and you have to allow yourself, to be from your mind. Speak from your heart, perceive with your mind, okay? Use the lenses of your heart and all of your compass in the way of Jesus Christ to help you see things that you need to see and understand that you need to understand, okay? You have to understand that God is crowned upon your head, okay? Look at the Ode of Solomon, the first ode that he has. The first and not the second, but that's something for somebody. So the first, second, and eighth Ode of Solomon, okay, it's going to be considered a apocryphal text because it's not a part of the Hebrew canon of the Bible. So read all that. Read the wisdom of Solomon, the Psalms of Solomon, even the Psalms of David, because the Psalms is just a mixture of the hymns of David and Solomon. Allow yourself to be perceived, and do not perceive others in a way that you hope to be perceived, or that you are fearful, or even how society gives its lenses to you. So be peace, be at one with yourself, and allow these things to fall and descend upon you like the leaf coming down for spring, okay? I love you all. I really do. I'm doing 2 things at once, looking at 3 things all at once, okay? We're going back and forth. I'm recording for my TikTok folks, on my Instagram and everything, and at the same time too, I'm recording because the landscape, the format for YouTube and everything else is different. So I want to make sure I record all this and it's all encompassing for everybody, because I don't want anybody to be without. So I'm here changing positions, changing my perspective, allowing myself to see things from different point of views. Same image, different mind, different heart, different lens of perspective. And I like doing these things because since I've been out and walking and perceiving a lot that the Lord has told me to do, and just becoming and entering into these new realms, these new portals, these new things, I've been tapping back into my spirituality, into my original self. And I'd like to dive deeper into my ancestry, because now recently I've been having dreams and I miss it so much, okay? I'm very prophetic in my dreams, okay? It's all encompassing, it's very beautiful. I love my dreams, guys, my spiritual dreams. The height of my spirituality and my all-encompassing self, my essence, was the year 2020, 2021 during COVID. For a lot of people, it was a lot of spiritual awakening. And since then, I've felt like myself in a deep slumber. I've been in survival mode. I've been trying to fight for my life, and I'm just now walking to a state of peace. I'm still fighting, but I'm not fighting like I was before, because I'm leaning back on faith, invisible strings, and I'm depending on this invisible realm. I'm allowing myself to still walk in faith through the heart of my eyes and not, my eyes. Walk by faith, not by sight, okay? Faith is the substance of all things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. Keyword, not yet seen. Everything is birthed in the invisible. Let's take a mother conceiving her child, for example, okay? We know that a mother is pregnant, of course, because of the signs, the physical signs we get, because everything starts off invisible and it translates into the physical. So, of course, in this modern day and age, we have pregnancy tests and stuff like that, so we know if a woman is pregnant or not. But before then, how you could perceive or have an idea of a thing manifesting inside yourself is the signs that God gives you. So whether you're getting sick or your hunger or your appetite has changed and everything, or your senses are heightening, these different signs that mothers go through. And so you don't know that you have that child. You can speculate these things. And even in your stomach, like in your uterus, you don't know that you have the Bible, the child. You're just hoping. So what do? Because it's a thing not yet seen, but you're speculating the abundance, you're hoping for it to be there, you work towards it, okay? So you start eating right, you start going out in nature more, you start exercising, you start going to the doctor, you have a midwife, you start doing all these things that will help you prepare for the child. And because you are working to the thing not yet seen, eventually that invisible translates into a physical. So what was conceived, what was a embryo, has developed into a child. So now you have a real living thing, because now you're pregnant, you're showing, you're aware of these things. But a child begins invisible, with invisible strings. And even before then, remember, read Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Had to remember, I love that verse. But before we were woven in the womb, what does God say? He knew us. And before we were birthed, he sanctified us, a prophet above the nations. And though I was talking about Jeremiah specifically, that resonates for a lot of souls on a lot of this journey. So even like a tumor, take a tumor, for example, a cancerous tumor, that doesn't manifest until you allow something in the invisible to take form. So a lot of tumors, depending on where they grow for yourself, is like a lot to do with stress. So if you have, just say, a tumor growing in your brain or whatever, that manifests from anxiety, that manifests from being in survival mode, a state of survival mode in your life for too long. You're stressing, you're tapping in, you're overexerting the power from your crown. Remember, life is in the heart, and if you're constantly in your head and you're constantly in the brain and you're overworking yourself on top of generational curses, because a lot of people say, cancer and stuff like that, it's hereditary. You got to think about the genetics of these things. It's not hereditary in a sense that, it gets passed down from generation to generation because it's in your bloodline. It's on top of your bloodline because that's what you call a curse or a seal. A lot of people have, demonic spirits that are, married onto them and everything like that. You got generational curses. Those are seals placed on your bloodline. So when you have things, for example, like black people for sickle cell, that gets passed down because something that was meant to be an abundance of hope, something for us to elevate from, it has been placed on top of us like a seal, and it's been sealed up. Read the book of Revelation. There's lots of seals with the trumpets and everything. Those are important because what is locked away could be a blessing or a curse, and you have to unlock it. You have to unbury those codes. You have to allow yourself to go past that. And the only way we can do that is if we get out of the state of survival mode and move into peace mode. I'll give another example. I'll say Daytona, for example. Okay, I've lived in Florida my whole life, and Daytona is a frequent place that I have been visiting, and I see a lot of people on hustle, go mode, grinding and everything like that, my people. But at the same time too, there's other people living other lives that are in the same area as you, places that you would consider the ghetto. Right next door is what you would, the civilized communities, the rich communities and everything like that. You are right next door to them, and you are hustling in a world that they are not hustling in. And it's all about perspective and what you need to see. There should be no reason why you need to be in the mindset of survival mode when there's peace all around you. You just have to be able to find that peace, and we have to break out of those barriers. I would not be here talking the way I'm talking, taking the time out of my day to sit and meditate and listen to the Lord and be compelled by my spirit, if I did not allow my mind to be shifted. But of course, me shifting into peaceful mode, it was not of my own will, it was not of my own making, it was that of God. And I was able to get that in the month of September 2024. I was able to get that during that month. And it wasn't, again, before that transition, I was like, God, it's all or nothing. You have me. Like, literally, if I did not do what I did, compelled in my heart and my spirit, if I did not trust in the Lord, if I did not just do that one thing he called me to do, I would have been homeless, guys. I would have been homeless. But I have so much love and hope and belief in the Lord, even when he transitioned me just recently. Each and every time I left and I moved and I relocated, it was a situation of, if I don't make it, or if I don't like pray to the Lord or something like that, like the next day, the next step, I'm going to be homeless. And that's something I've been fighting. I was like, no, Lord, I know you ain't take me this far and get me this far just for me to get this far. There's so much more that I have to do, that you want me to do. Like, you're showing me these things. And like, even before then, before I got to this point, I wasn't as hopeful, like as revealing as I know I have a mission. Before, it's just like, God, you've kept me alive this long. Obviously, you have to have something more. You can't tell me this is the end of the road. Because if it is, take me. Like Baruch said, Lord, if this is the end times, if this is the end day, like, take me. You might as well take me now. I don't want to see the sins of my mother. Take me up with my fathers, my forefathers, my ancestors, and let me be. Because I do not want to see this destruction. I do not want to be in destruction. Take me, Lord. That was my mindset and everything. So it's just like, again, I was placed in a state of peace, not by my own will or because I worked towards, like, okay, I survived so much, I hustle, now I can be peace. It was the will of Lord. It was the will of God, Lord Most High. It was his will and his will alone, because I didn't know that me transitioning into the month of September 2024, that I would be in a state of peace. Like, it surprised me in ways I could not have conceived. And I'll tell you guys this. I'll give you another story another day, another time. I'm not going to tell the full story, but I'll give you a brief little peek inside. So in the month of August, 2 weeks before I had to leave, everything, I prayed to the Lord. It was like a Saturday. It was a Saturday that I had wrote in my journal, and I was just writing, I was crying, I was praying. I was like, okay, God, send me a miracle. I tell you, send me a man. Okay, I said, send me a man, Lord. You got to be delusional. You got to think big so God can take your big and make it bigger and make it make more sense in a way to be delusional so you can be real. Okay, so I was like, Lord, because during this time I was walking, like I would just walk outside of the house and I would go from here to here. Like I would walk from Wawa, I would walk to Walmart, like, because I don't have a car. So I was just walking and I was just like, whatever the Lord tell me to do, if he say show up right here, show up right here. Because if somebody has to see me and them see me in a certain color, in a certain way or whatever helps them and they get a revelation that they need for their life, then that's what I'm going to do. I can't just think about myself and selfishness for myself. I can't just say, oh, I'm not going to do it because I see no benefit for myself in doing this thing of walking around. Even though I felt like it wasn't bearing any fruit, it bore fruit for me because I was walking. I got my little exercise in. I could have helped somebody along the way. Somebody saw me, noticed me, and whatever I was wearing in my array, whatever it was, I knew I was doing it for more than just me. So I did it for the Lord. And so during that time I was walking around and everything. And so being that I was like in my mind walking around, I was like, okay, Lord, well, if I'm going to be walking around, obviously you mean for me to meet somebody. So Lord, how I know a person will be for me, the man for me, if I meet this person, is 3 things. They give me flowers, they give me chocolate, and they give me teddy bears. A teddy bear. That's the 3 things that I asked for. A teddy bear, chocolate, and flowers. Then I switched. I said, more specifically, not any flowers, roses. I prayed and I cried to the Lord, went to sleep, woke up the next day, and this was Sunday. I woke up and the person I was living with, they were cleaning up. And as they were cleaning up, they were like, oh, well, because I'm on a diet and I'm doing my own thing and everything, I have a box of chocolates that I don't want anymore that I got as a gift from this person, that person, and everything. Would you guys like to have it? Me and the other person that was living in the house. And I was like, oh, okay. Mind you, I wrote all this. I poured my heart and soul out into this journal and everything. I forgot all that I asked for, okay? Instantly. The next day, it wasn't even the next day, the next few hours, because it was late at night that I was writing. I think I was writing all the way up until 12 into Sunday. Okay, I was writing and I fell asleep. So in the next few hours, when I was up, I was refreshed and I was illumined, just rejuvenized. God gave me the first thing I asked for. which was chocolates. And I was already kind of on the fast already. For the whole month of August, I was on the fast. Like, I was drinking nothing but water. I had my water, and I infused it with my fenugreek seeds because it was very nutritious for me. You know, I like that. If you're not allergic to seeds or nuts, I highly recommend, you know, just putting, you know, some minerals, some herbs, or drinking some tea. That's what I was drinking. I was surviving, y'all. I've never fasted a day in my life. Never. And I was forced into a fast for the whole month of August. So I was fasting. And I asked that for the Lord, and instantly God gave me the chocolate. But me being me, I'm not thinking about that. I didn't realize that. So for 2 weeks, I had that chocolate. Then came the day that I was supposed to leave. I'm like, Lord, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to be homeless. What do I do? Came, gave me like my little rescuer, like my blessing and everything like that. So I was able to, you know, live with somebody else. And I hadn't realized then that God already gave me my second gift, which was the teddy bear. And so in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I want a teddy bear because I love teddy bears. I've had stuffed animals for as long as I can remember. My mom made sure me and my sister always had like our collection of stuffed animals, whatever they are, our dolls and everything. She had a net, and she hung it in the corner of our room and on the ceiling. And she would put our stuffed animals in there, and I love that. I dream of recreating that one day when I finally get my own place. But she did that for us, and I love my stuffed animals. So when I asked that for a prayer, it's just me wanting it is because I wanted that comfort. But God saw deeper into my heart, and he saw what you are really asking for is safety and security. So that's what God gave me, was safety and security, and that's how I was able to transition into that state of peace. August was my survival mode, and after August, my survival mode and that mindset stopped. Came September, I was in a state of peace. Y'all, September 1st, the night of September 1st, I slept so heavenly, so at peace. It was literally like I laid back into the arms of the Lord. Like, I slept so good. And yes, I was on a blow-up bed, but there was no other bed like it. Okay, I slept good. Do you hear me? It was heavenly. And on day 2, September 2nd, did all of it come full circle for me. Revelations of everything that I received, that I realized, oh Lord, you gave me my chocolates. Oh Lord, you gave me my teddy bear, which was the safety and security. All I needed left was my roses. You know what kind of roses I got? Not just any physical flowers or roses. I got roses, a shower of roses, you know, applause from the heavens up high. Because the way the roses manifested was not, like I said, the physical flowers, but rather wisdom. Okay? Because, oh, a butterfly. I always see that as a sign from the Lord. I'm doing good. We right on path, y'all. Okay, so the roses was the wisdom. Okay, the wisdom that I received from the Lord. Because I fasted for so long, and I was just, you know, writing. I was using that time to write the codex. One of my layered divinity, my books from the layered divinity series. Like, I was just using that time to write, and just, you know, because I had nothing else to do. You know, I was trying to find a job. I couldn't find a job. And I know that when I'm in an area and I can't find a job, you know, it's a spiritual thing. Like, the Lord is telling me, like, you're not meant to be there for long. You're not meant to plant your feet in that location. And obviously the Lord has been working on me with entrepreneurship and everything like that. So it's like, I know a lot of things I can't explain to people because they are of the physical mind. And if I say, oh, the reason why I can't get a job and make money right now is because God said no, not a lot of people are going to be able to perceive that or conceive that or have an understanding of that. And it sounds crazy. Believe me, I trust, I fight. Every job that, even to now, every job that I have ever applied for, it's been denied. No matter how well I've worked my resume, I've been a manager. I worked good jobs. I stayed with companies for long, and I didn't leave on any bad accord. I have so many community service hours. I go out in the community still, and I do so much work. I'm good at communicating. I've had interviews and everything, but I just could not get a job for the life of me, y'all. Like, I promise you on everything, I've been fighting for the longest to get a job. Obviously, it's not meant to work out for me for good reason. I understand what God has for me, but you know, sometimes you get those moments where it's like, okay, Lord, like, it's that time of month, like rent due, you know, I'm living with this person, and it's like I can't help out. It's like, I understand you're gonna hold me, you carry me this long, but I would like to stand on my 2 feet now, Lord. Like, I would like to put some work in. Like, I would like to show my thanks to people. And it's just like, it ain't for me. What I'm building is long enduring, it's long suffering, it's going to be a foundation that stands long, but I have to wait on the Lord. And it eats at me because it eats at other people. And it's like, I don't want nobody to think like I'm leeching off you, or I'm like, I have no purpose, no goal, no mission. I just need to stay with you because I don't want to do nothing with my life. I'm very passionate about the life that I live with the Lord. Okay, I'm in it. But it breaks me. And it breaks me every single time. So I'm like, still, even to this day, I'm waiting on the Lord. I'm hoping on the Lord. I'm building things for the Lord. All that I'm building is for other people because, like I said, back when I was walking around, back in August when I was walking from place to place, I know that it wasn't for me. That wasn't just for me. That I was doing these great things because that was the will of the Lord. Like, it could help somebody else. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm trying to make sure y'all straight. Y'all good? I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my big one for the Lord. So, and other people. So it's just like, it's all encompassing. But starting September, literally instantly, the 2nd of September, I had a dream and got all these revelations, and then the wisdom from heaven started pouring down, and I literally envisioned it, and I saw it, just a whole bunch of flowers, individual roses just falling down from the heavens and everything. And it has fell down upon me and dripped upon me like heavenly dew, because that's what the Lord do. He does his great things. And I was like, God, even though I asked for something short, for a man to give me roses, chocolate, and a bear, just one instant, and I knew that's your sign, that's the blessing, that's the one for me, whatever. Even though I asked for that one little thing, you gave it, you prolonged my blessing, basically, okay? Because I ate chocolate for 2 weeks, okay? You prolong, and I love chocolate, y'all. I love chocolate, especially a nice, rich, dark chocolate, you know, very well flavored, delicious, decadent. I love it, and you gave it to me. 2 weeks. Next day, well, not next day, 2 weeks, chocolate. 1 day, teddy bear. Next day, the whole, even to this point forward, I've been receiving nothing but my roses, applause, my love, my blessings, wisdom. She dances with me, I dance with her. When she disappears, it means I'm trying to ascend. It's time for me to ascend. I go from one level and follow her up there, and we continue our learning on that dimension, on that realm, on that plane, on that existence, on that heaven. Because it's all interconnected. There's spheres, then there's the heavens, there's planes, and then there's dimensions, there's realities, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot, and it's very exciting, and it's all encompassing, and I hope you guys can join this journey with me and understand it. You know, I'm just sharing my testimony, my revelations, everything that I've been through, because it's about that time, and I just love the Lord. And I hope you guys can just take a piece of this and understand it. Let it be nourished into your body, and be hopeful and encouraged in the Lord. And even if you do not believe in him, or you have not received him, allow him to receive you first, because it is the Lord that loved us. For he came into the world, and we knew him not, but he knew us. And the only reason why we're capable of love and we're understanding the love, because he loved us first and he showed us the way. Therefore, we follow his example, because it's loving, it's enduring, it's nurturing, and it's all encompassing. Do not think of, well, the war, the wrath, and whatever's in the judgment, because God doesn't even pay us the execution we are deserving us, the manifold of our sins that we are deserving of. Okay, you do not know what kind of punishment you are deserving of from a lie, just a lie. Okay, talking about some, even, you know, oftentimes, because I am no what you call it, what's the word I'm looking for? I've lied before in my life, okay? And that's all I'm gonna say. I lied before in my life. And oftentimes, some people, we lie to protect other people's feelings, you know? That's still in itself not a good thing. But I've lied to not hurt people, but protect their feelings and spare them, you know, the pain, or just like, you know, cover for them and everything. I've done it before in my life. But if we understood the multitude of just the punishment we were supposed to get just from that in itself, it's a lie. It's a lie. What was it? I forget which part in the Bible, but it was said that if a man lusts after a woman, you know, just having the pleasure, the desire, the mind to, you know, be sexually intimate with a woman, the mind, that mindset, you are better off cutting off your limbs, gouging out your eyeballs, and then tying just think a boulder, okay? I forgot the name of what it is, but it's in my head. It's a circular boulder with a hole in the middle. They used it as wheels back then. But you're better off cutting off your arms, your limbs, gouging out your eyeballs, and tying yourself to a boulder and dropping yourself in the middle of the ocean. You are better off doing that to yourself than you are lusting after a person. That's how deep it is. So imagine the punishment. We don't even get what we are deserving of, because the Lord loved us first and loves us still. We are his children. All right? So Yeah. Yeah. What the bird said. I just like taking moments to just listen to everything else around me and breathe. Not all the time do you need to fill a space. Let the space fill you. But not just any space, okay? Because not every space is for you. Not every space heals you. Not every space loves you. You got to go where you are wanted and do what you are needed to do, you know? Feel yourself. Embrace yourself. Be an asset to the world. Contribute to the light. For you are the light. And a man who is not in the light is in darkness. And woe to that man in darkness. Woe. W-O-E. Not woe as in W-O-A-H. Like whoa. No. Woe. Lament. Okay? I love you guys. Be blessed. Stay healthy. Stay wealthy. And remember the love and the word of the Lord. And if you don't listen and hear from anybody else or in your own mind when you're reading it, hear it from me. Okay? Yeah.